Hi everyone. Today we'll be diving into a new addition to Atlas, the Atlas Cloud CLI command. But before we get into the terminal, let's talk a little bit about Atlas Cloud. Atlas Cloud serves as the central source of truth for your schemas, migrations, and databases and environments. Each repository contains the state of your deployed databases, the history of migration deployments, and real-time monitoring insights. But while this UI is great for humans, the new Atlas Cloud command allows you to retrieve this information into your standard output for your AI agents to use as well. This gives them clear visibility to troubleshoot failed deployments, to assess the impact of the next deployment, and check whether all changes were already tested in staging, and so on. If you run an AI SRE or DevOps tool or built one yourself, this is the missing piece that puts your database into the picture. To get started, let's look at the various subcommands that we have for Atlas Cloud. So you can see the available commands are database, migration, and repo. First, let's see what we're working with the Atlas Cloud repo command. So with this command, we can create a repository in Atlas Cloud. We can describe a specific repository in Atlas Cloud. We can get the lineage graph of one of the repositories, and we can list all of the ones that exist in our Atlas Cloud organization. So let's see this in action. We have Atlas Cloud repo list. And here you can see the 4 repositories that I currently have in my organization. If I wanted to get more information about one of them, I can use Atlas Cloud repo describe using the slug. And here we have a little bit more information about the specific repository. Next, let's take a look at the actual infrastructure with Atlas Cloud database. So similar to repo, we can list all of the databases that I have with database list. And here are all of the databases that I currently have, including their repository that they belong to, the environment they're in, their status, their current version, etc. And if I wanted to get more information about a specific database using the URL in Atlas Cloud or from this list, I can simply type in Atlas Cloud database describe with the database ID. And here I have the same information, but easily readable from the standard output. Finally, we need to know what happened and when. And we can get this information by running the Atlas Cloud migration commands. So similarly to repo and database, I can also use migration and list out the migrations that I have deployed that exist in my organization. We can see also that there are 20 of these listed per page, and there's a total of 36. So if I wanted to see the next page, all I would have to do is add the page 2 flag, and here I have the remaining 16. You can also filter the list by status using the status flag. So if I want to see which ones failed, I can get that very easily using the status flag. But passed, failed, dry run, or no action, you will see all of your migration deployments here in your standard output. Beyond manual checks, the Atlas Cloud CLI command can be used by your AI coding assistants to get direct insight into your registry. Imagine, for example, that I am in charge of deploying a new version of a product at the start of the week. Before I can trigger the deployment pipeline, I have to check that all of the changes have been tested in the staging environment, that they have all passed, and that production is ready to receive them. Now, rather than clicking through multiple pages of the Atlas Cloud UI, I can simply run the Atlas Cloud commands to list the repositories, databases, and migration deployments and check their statuses in the different environments. But even easier than this, I can prompt my AI agent to inform me about the current state of my infrastructure, and it will advise me on how to move forward with the deployment, ensuring a much safer CI/CD flow. To go forward with the example that I introduced, I have prompted my cursor agent saying that I want to deploy a new version of my project, and I'm asking if the pipeline is clear, that the staging environment has passed testing, and production is ready to receive these changes. So it starts off by running the Atlas Cloud commands. It lists out the databases, repositories, and migrations, lists out the environments, checks for failed or pending migrations, and as a result, I get a summary saying that production is not yet ready because there are pending migrations that are currently waiting to be deployed. And it gives me some suggestions for how to proceed to make sure that my pipeline is cleared for when I do deploy this project. For those utilizing the Atlas Cloud UI, this Atlas Cloud CLI command isn't just a visibility tool. It's a way to obtain context of your Atlas managed projects. For the full list of flags and options, check out the documentation that's in the description below. And thanks for watching.